Israel restores water to southern Gaza. Welcome to Ray Dog's Random Thoughts. Ray Sean Blyden here. Leave a like, share, and subscribe. So I have been absent for a little bit, doing some other things, live streaming for one, my political bomb show, which is on Rumble and other platforms that I just joined, but mainly Rumble. So I've been doing that, and I've been figuring out how to expand the audience because the audience is kind of stagnated. And you see, when I first began, my content was just music videos, low budget music videos, short films, and just cheesy comedy that people or cringe stuff. And that was the audience. That's what they wanted to see. So eventually I changed it up because I wanted to for several reasons. The numbers had completely disappeared. So I think what happened is my music videos got to looking more professional and not being as cheesy and cringy. And so they didn't stick around because they like that type of cringy stuff. So basically, what I'm saying is I outgrew my audience, and so my audience left. And so it didn't help that I started to do political content, which I'm sure if I had to do a survey, most of my audience was not to the right conservative like I am, most of them. And so that had a lot to do with it as well. So how am I trying to expand my audience? Well, I'm using shorts. Shorts here on YouTube, so you know what shorts are. It's going to be basically from all the information and data and I gathered, shorts is going to be a completely different audience because they're there for the shorts and they don't want to watch your long form stuff. So therefore, I've I've been experimenting with that, and I'm trying different subject matters, and it seems like the one that I did about the breed of dogs, that one is outnumbering all of the other ones. So I'm trying different subject matters, but it's not my voice either, because I don't want to associate it with me. I want it to be completely different, and so I guess you can say I kind of went with AI in a sense. Well, it's not actually AI. I'm not using the AI, but it's the software that I picked up. It's called My Phone Voxbox. It's very good. I There was different option, but I opted to pay for the lifetime support. I mean the lifetime one because I don't like paying subscription fees in the long run. I'm just going to end up paying more money. And this is not. It has different things here. I'm going to end up probably shelling out more money if I wanted to do voice cloning. That's another $100, and AI generated rap. They have a whole bunch of stuff here, but ultimately I paid for the text to speech, and so and the text to speech is very very good. I mean, it sounds. If you've been watching my shorts, you can hear it. It sounds very very good, and so that's what I'm doing with it. I basically the format. I'll leave a link in the description on probably a card up there somewhere on the left or right. I'm not sure where they put it, so you can click and check that out. But anyway, I'm droning on and on to say that I've not been doing this show like I was normally doing it 5 days a week. So I might cut it down to maybe 3 days a week and cover more content other than one subject matter. We'll see. But for now, we're just going to talk about Israel. It's very It's a sad world. I mean, what do they expect Israel to do when they're attacked like that? You have all the anti-Semitism going on. It's ridiculous. I mean, what do you expect them to do? It's just stupid. You just want them to just take and say, "Oh, you Hamas, oh you terrorists, you're fine." That's what they want them to do. It's just stupid. But anyway, let's read the story here. Oh, Israel restores water to southern Gaza. At the Israel-Hamas war enters its second week, and Israel prepares to mount its ground offense. Israel has restored water services to southern Gaza. On Sunday, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan relayed the same information to Jake Tapper on CNN's State of the Union. Water services has been restored. Now, Hamas is just going through a recaps. If you're living on a rock and you don't know what happened, Hamas attack on Israel has gripped the region in a violent and bloody conflict, the most tumultuous in decades. Now, the situation is escalating even further as Israel has ordered a siege of the Gaza Strip, the territory run by the terrorist organization. The siege has put a halt on deliveries of food, fuel, and other essential supplies. The move comes in response to Hamas' surprise assault on Saturday that killed 700 Israelis and 9 Americans. The extremist group has also taken hundreds of hostages. Israel's military ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip on Monday, halting deliveries of food, fuel, and supplies to its 2.3 million people as it pounded the Hamas ruled territory with waves of airstrikes in retaliation for the militants' bloody weekend insurrection. Insurgent, rather. It's sad that ordinary citizens get caught in the middle. It's just a symptom of war. There's nothing that can be done about that because I'm sure the 2.3 million people there, they don't all, I would argue most of them don't agree with things that are happening as far as Hamas goes, but they can't say anything or they'll probably be killed or jailed. Let's be honest. When you live in a country like that, you have to keep your mouth shut or there'll be consequences. And so it's sad that these 2.3 million people are going to suffer because there will be no food or fuel of any kind for them. Again, it's very sad, but this is the symptoms of war. When you have a sick, psychotic, demonic terrorist running your country, it's hard to fight back against these things other than with brute force, because that's just the only thing that will get their attention. Brute force begot brute force. There's nothing else you can do about it. It's funny, Sunday, for the next 8 weeks at my church, where I enrolled for this class because as a Christian, we need to learn to deal with people who are in the LGBTQT, LMNOPQ, or XTUV, or XYZ. We're talking about how to, it was funny. The instructor, he put up a chart, and I forgot exactly. I wish I had it with my phone. Actually, let me tell you. So he asked a question which was very funny. The whole class bust out laughing. So he said, I'm going to he put like a chart, and on the left side, the first left, he put truth tellers versus givers. And then on the bottom, he put culture warriors versus culture capitulator. And so when he asked us to think about if we are on that side, the left side, which is the truth tellers and culture warrior, or are we on the right side, grace givers and culture capitulator? He said, would anyone like to speak? I quickly put my hand up and said, I am far, far to the left on all of them. And everyone just burst out laughing. But it's true, I was being honest. I need to learn. Essentially, he ended up saying that it was a trick question, and we need to be culture ambassadors rather than, you know, trying to balance being truth teller and grace givers, culture warriors, and culture capitulators. And so that was pretty funny, but it's true. I was being really honest. That's just how I am. So I need to learn how to be a culture ambassador, which he realizes in 8 weeks we're not probably not gonna be where we need to be, but eventually that's where we should be. But I digress. I strayed way off topic. More than 2 days after Hamas launched its surprise attack, the Israeli military said it had largely gained control in its southern towns where it had been battling Hamas gunmen. Israelis vaunted military and intelligence apparatus was caught completely off guard by Hamas, resulting in heavy battles in its streets for the first time in decades. Israeli tanks and the drones were deployed to guard breaches in the Gaza border fence to prevent new insurgents. Thousands of Israelis were evacuated from more than a dozen towns near Gaza, and the military summoned 300,000 reservists, a massive mobilization in a short time. The move, along with Israelis' formal declaration of war on Sunday, pointed to Israeli increasingly shifting to the offensive against Hamas, threatening greater destruction in the densely populated, impoverished Gaza Strip. While many on the left decried Israelis' response, how could you decry the response? I'm not going to get into it. I'm not. Musa. See, there goes that warrior in me. You've heard, if you followed my music, you've heard me say that. I've always been a warrior, and so I have that warrior mentality. Americans generally support efforts taken by Israel to defend themselves. Of course, who wouldn't? Well, yeah, we know who wouldn't. So there you go. I mean, what can you do? What can you say about that? Really? And let's find another story because I'm going to be doing, like I said, I'm probably not going to do for the entire week. I'm going to just cover more than one story, which I normally would cover one. Look to see what is of importance. I could also read some headlines as I'm going down the line. You had the two Jakes, Jake Tapper. He hammers Sullivan and says Hamas hostages don't seem to be priority at all right now. And of course, I mean, CNN, like I said, whatever they're doing right now, keep it going. Maybe you'll redeem yourself one day. Maybe one day. Meanwhile, shameless Biden has had $2 billion to Taliban since disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Let's see. Let's do this one. FBI director warns Americans to be on the alert for copycats in wake of Hamas terror attacks against Israel. Yes, let's do this one since we are on the topic of Israel. NBC News recently went with a report saying the right wingers were using scare tactics to freak out Americans by voicing concerns that terrorists loyal to Hamas could strike in this country, and that our porous southern border significantly increased the danger. Not wrong. I haven't heard anything that's wrong there. The story cited a statement issued by the FBI last week that said they had no information about credible terrorist threat against the United States. And you have in parentheses here, let's see, NBC News conservatives are stoking fears of blah blah blah. Okay, let's just no, we're not going to even go there. That take was woefully misguided at the time, but it looks even worse in hindsight, as FBI Director Christopher Wray admitted that there is a heightened danger after Hamas' unprovoked attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. He warned that Americans should be on guard and looking out for lone wolves attackers. Wray's warning comes after former Hamas chief, I can't even pronounce this name, Chief Khalid, whatever, Masil, I don't know. There's his whatever his name is on Friday of day of Jahiyah, Hamas is designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. and most Western countries. Fortunately, no large-scale terrorist attacks were reported in the U.S. And who is this? Someone on. Let's put this on so I can hear what he got to say. This might be Ray here, Christopher Wray. Let's see here. See if I could hear this. Okay, looks like. Okay, hold on a second here. I knew that was gonna happen. I have to give me a second. Let's see, desktop audio. Hold on a second. I hope this doesn't do anything. Let's see. And audio, we got desktop not responding. So let's go to speaker there. Speaker everywhere. Okay, let's see if that worked. Let's try that again.
And we remain committed to continue confronting those threats, both here in the United States and overseas. In this heightened environment, there's no question we're seeing an increase in reported threats, and we've got to be on the lookout, especially for lone actors who may take inspiration from recent events to commit violence of their own. So I'd encourage you to stay vigilant, because as the first line of defense, protecting our communities, you're often the first to see the signs that someone may be mobilizing to violence.
Okay, so it's funny how at first they say, oh, these right wingers, oh, you right wingers, you nothing to see here, keep it moving. And now you have that. Okay, let's see what else we got. Let's do one more story. One more story for the day. And let's see what we got here. Cancel culture finally comes for the left, and I can't stop laughing. Okay, I mean, it's not an important story, but we're going to end on a light note. I would call this a light note because we just covered some heavy stuff. So yeah, let's end on a light note here. Cancel culture finally comes for the left, and I can't stop laughing. Hee ha ha ha. I can't stop laughing. Okay, where is this? Let me just show. Give me a second. The lights are so blinding. Otherwise, you can't see me. My time is now. Okay, there you go. So, just wanted to show you the headlines there. There you go. Okay. Following the deadly invasion by Hamas terrorists that took the lives of at least 1,200 people in Israel, you'd think there would be no question who was at fault. You'd think that, right? But you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. As I wrote previously, all the geopolitical arguments in the world, right or wrong, do not excuse mass murder, including the massacring of children. When Hamas crossed the border and started indiscriminately killing people and taking hostages, there was no question that the gloves would have to come off, of course. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot if you didn't see that coming. Complaints about settlements and the Al Aqsa whatever mosque became academic at that point. Still, in the immediate aftermath of the attacks, some people actually came out in open support of Hamas. Atrocities justifying them and blaming Israel for the murder of its own people. Joint letters were put out by universities and protests were held with chants glorifying Hamas. Unbelievable. Naturally, some companies decided that was a bridge too far and rescinded job offers to those who participated, and now the cry has begun. So, let's see here. Ryan Workman had a job offer lined up when the New York University law student wrote a message to the university's Student Bar Association saying Israel was sorely to blame for the war with Hamas. This is sick. You stupid. Are you that dumb? That has killed at least 1,300 people in Israel and more than 1,350 people in Gaza. Israel bears full responsibility for this tremendous loss of life, Workman wrote. This regime of state sanctioned violence created the conditions that made resistance necessary. I will not condemn Palestine resistance, but the post came with a consequence. Workman no longer has a job after law school. Womp, 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 womp. Very good. I am happy about that. Really good. Wait, am I supposed to feel sorry for a person who literally cheerleaded mass murder and claimed it was simply resistance? Of course, he's obviously being. Obviously, this question is I forget what you call it. I can't think now. When you know the answer, I can't think right now. If someone knows what I'm trying to say here, just leave a comment. I can't think right now. Is that really what the post is suggesting? With this handwriting article full of defensive of people exposing Nazi ideology? Last I checked, the left lovers cancel culture, and signal, no single entity of the left loves it more than the university system. Recall that Harvard rescinded its acceptance of Kyle Kushov, or Kushov, however you pronounce that, a school shooting survivor because some vindictive person dug up and released years old group chat messages in which he said some naughty words. But I'm supposed to care that Hamas apologists aren't getting hired? The Post also cited Mia Khalifa, or whatever her name is, who was fired from Playboy for her post on the day of the attacks. Here's how they described it. Quote here: if you can look at the situation in Palestine and not be on the side of Palestinians, then you are on the wrong side of history and will show that in time, she wrote over the weekend. After she wrote, she continued to post her support of the Palestine people. Playboy announced its decision to end its business relationship with the former adult film star and delete her Centerfold channel. Good. Her page has since been taken down. Ha 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 ha. Well, that's one way to describe it. Another more accurate way is to note that she called Hamas a Renaissance painting and asked the terrorists to turn their phones to landscape mode so she could witness the murders of Jews more clearly. So, yeah, it was a bit more than posting her support for the Palestine people. Again, am I supposed to be upset that this washed up, they don't say washed up, but I'm saying washed up adult porn star got fired? What exactly is that post point? Regardless, my response to this is simple. I can't stop laughing. This is what the left wanted. They wanted a world where people get publicly and professionally punished for the things they say. Furthermore, they wanted the standard to be so low that people could get fired for simply speaking basic truths, such as that men can't become women. Yahoo! But now, okay, wait, I gotta take off my what did my teacher call it again? I have to take off my culture warrior hat and be a culture ambassador. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. So yeah, that's not how this works. Not how it works. So what do you think? What do you think about that? And yeah, I don't know why some people are just that evil. Because that's the only way I could come up with why someone would think that it is okay for a terrorist to provoke unprovokingly attack Israel for no reason other than being evil terrorists who want to just kill, kill, kill. Yeah. Why would you be on that side of history? And for this washed up Playboy bunny, whatever she was, to come out like that? Yeah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye is what I have to say. Again, don't forget to check out my new series, which you're not gonna hear my voice. It is another voice. I wish. I mean, I could pull it up here, but there's no need. There'll be a link. You can check it out if you want to learn knowledge and some things that are not that. Like for instance, the first one was when did people start picking their nose? That was kind of silly, but so I've since strayed away from that, and I'm talking about more better historical things. So if you are into that kind of stuff, go ahead and click on that. Don't forget, by the way, to visit politicalbombshow.com where you can help the channel that way, or raydog.com. You can also help the channel that way. You know, if it was up to me, I would, if in a perfect world, I'd like to do this full time and live stream and do all of this full time and shorts and all this full time. But in this world that we live in, I'm gonna tell you, you cannot depend, especially coming from my side of the aisle and being conservative. You can't depend on YouTube to support your family and yourself. Because if it's up to them, eventually I'll be homeless. If I say something against what they want me to say, well, then it'll be na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. Losing my home, my house, my family, my friends, everything will be gone, up in flames because you decided to take a stand on certain things. Hence, me being a culture warrior. It's hard for me not to be a culture warrior because I've always been a fighter. So therefore, I would not. If you are looking to get into the game and make money, you've seen your favorite content creators, and they have millions and millions of views, millions and millions of subscribers, and you say I can do this too. I would argue that always, I mean, always have a backup plan. Do not, as they say, put all your eggs in one basket. You don't do that. You'll be a fool to do that to yourself. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. So therefore, you have to be careful and use other. I mean, Rumble is another avenue that you can use, but still, in this today's climate, it's not easy to get into the game anymore. It's really not, and there's so many people doing it. It's gonna be hard for you to break through unless, I mean, you know someone or your content is just so unbelievably special. It's gonna be hard to break through. So you might wanna do this on the side as a side hustle. Is the best way I can put it. Do it as a side hustle, and if you make money, great. But have a plan doing something outside of this because you will be setting yourself up for failure. You can take off like lightning in a bottle, and then you say the wrong thing. Especially, and I'm talking more conservative or Christians. You say the wrong thing, and they could wipe your channel out with a snap of fingers. You can have vindictive, evil people just flagging your content just because they don't like you and get you shut down that way. So there's too many variables that can go wrong. I would not advise you to do this for a living. I really wouldn't. And that's the best advice I can give you is to do this as a side hustle and branch out. You know, where you don't just stick to YouTube. Branch out with all of the obviously do your research and see how many viewers or how many people are on that particular platform because you don't want to invest all your time and money to a platform that has two people watching. Obviously, I'm over exaggerating, but you know what I mean. So I like Rumble. I love Odyssey as well. I don't like BitChute that much. It's just I don't like it. Excuse me. So those are the big ones there. Rumble and Odyssey. I like that. I found some other ones, but the audience is just not there. It's not. It's a waste of time. I usually only use them for when I'm streaming, and it's easy. Thanks to I don't remember the person's name here. Let's see. Oh, so there's a plugin. Oh, here's his name. I'll give him a plug. So there's a plugin provided for free if you use OBS. This here's a good tip. The author's name is Sora Yuki, what this plugin does is, instead of going with a, like a, what do you call it, the one we use at church, I can't even think of it right now. Oh, I can't think of it. The one where you're allowed to stream to different platforms all at once. Begin with a R, re stream. I can't think of it. Re something. But instead of paying money to do that, this guy, so he's it's worth donating to him. I'm probably gonna end up donating to him because this really comes in handy. So when I live stream, even, I just live stream to all of them, and it doesn't matter. I'm not actually wasting my time just going to them because I'm live streaming to Rumble, which I want to live stream to, and they're just there on the list. So I just live stream to all. So yeah, this guy definitely deserves a donation for sure. It's worked flawlessly when it comes to live streaming. So anyway, I have strayed way off again, and I'll be probably doing 2 to 3 of these shows at the most, and I'm sinking my resources into building up another audience because the numbers are really not strong at all here, and so I'm gonna cut it down to 3 days a week, unless the numbers start to explode. But the shorts audience is already surpassed what I'm doing here, so I'm gonna have to sink my resources into that and keep doing some of my live streams. But other than that, I will cut it down instead of 5 days. So I'm just forewarning you. Not that the audience is humongously big, but nonetheless, that's the way it is. So anyway, leave a like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you again shortly. Feel good.